Hump Day! Welcome aboard, everybody. It is the show. It's Wednesday, it's the 2nd of March. It's 82 degrees here in the heartland, and I am your host, Scott Steehn, with winnersandwhiners.com. I'm the lead handicapper over there, and I'm joined by my partner, as always,
Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
There you go. And together we do this little shizoo every single day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Heading back to the window with Scott and Scott. It's good to see you guys. Good to see everybody in the house that isn't some kind of spam. Let me get rid of that spam, Scott.
I don't know, maybe because it's Twitch. I don't know.
Oh, that is it, isn't it? Coming in on Twitch. There you go.
Could be. I don't know.
JC Stone. Hey, any interest on a slow sports day? Maybe doing part of a show. Asking the group here to comment their most successful sport and what bet they have on it.
I mean, even on a non-slow day, you can just tell us.
And then of course,
we're going to read the comments anyway.
And then right below that says, loving tonight's slate. So yeah. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Casino in the house. Hump day. There you go, buddy. I see. Checking in, Brandon Kubas. Let's get it. Nathan Cerna. Beam me up. Now, see, you didn't get that many jokes because you're a little younger. But
I get some Star Trek jokes every now and
then. Garrett wants to know if Oakland covered. Fuck off. That guy is like, he's such
Were they even that bad, or was IUPUI just hitting every shot, no matter how difficult?
Well, they shot 29% from downtown, so that hurt them.
Okay.
But yeah, IUPUI, those five guys, Jesus Christ. Every time they'd start to make a little bit of a run, that kid would just drain one from three. And just unbelievable. They shot 60% from downtown. So
I hate it when that kid does it. I don't know which guy we're talking about, but I hate it when that guy does it.
I don't know. Just
always that guy. I feel like he plays on 7 different teams, you know?
That fucking student manager or whatever the fuck he was. Yeah. So yeah, if you've got a sport that you capitalize on, that you're killing it, definitely let us know what it is. I'd love to hear it. I know a couple guys like the, now that was a foul. I like the soccer. Tebow tonight checking in with the Pelicans, 6.5 over the Kings. Don't hate it. I think Kings have covered 2 of their last 3 though, because I was looking at that game and I don't know.
I don't know if you're going to get many stops from either side. I know New Orleans might be a little bit overrated now because they killed the Lakers, which doesn't really mean anything to me. They ended up winning by 20 plus, so they really crushed them, but
right.
We all know the Lakers have been overvalued all season long. They're not very good. They're probably going to miss the playoffs. So what do you think? Do you think New Orleans is a bit overrated now?
I mean, yeah, it looks like they're getting a little bit of extra love there based on their performance against the Lakers, a little recency bias. I think 6 might be a little tall against Sacramento. I don't know, man. Let me see.
Sacramento's so bad on the road, though, so it's very tough to make a full assessment there.
Yeah.
I don't mind the over. There has been some money coming in on the under, but it's at around 233 now.
Yeah.
I don't see many stops in that game, so I feel like I'm going to go with the over. You?
Yeah, Atlanta 211 when they played back in November. Of course, that's a very different.
Well, they have different rosters now, so
yeah, Zion's still not playing.
Yeah, I'm saying you still got McCollum, which helps out which makes the defense worse. Of course, the Kings got Sabonis, that definitely helps the interior presence just from an actual scoring perspective. But I don't know, this totaled at 233, but looking at how these teams have played recently, I maybe wouldn't mind the Pelicans team total over, but I could see this game getting into the 240s potentially, just based on the pace.
It's possible.
My opinion.
It's possible. Nathan Cerna says, "My bet the farm is a slether." I don't know what I know. I've seen him use this term before. Do you know what a slether of bacon is?
Is that a slather of bacon?
I don't know, man. I don't. Okay, do you know what a slather of bacon is?
It's a slather. You just throw it on top. I don't know.
You like Seton Hall tonight, buddy? Likes who in the hall are you calling? What do you like Seton Hall against G-Town here?
Well, Georgetown is god awful, so they haven't won a game since 2021.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Seton Hall because I think Seton Hall is actually a tournament team, and Georgetown is one of the worst or most disappointing teams in the country. Now, Georgetown had that miracle cover against UConn in the last game where they were down 20 plus. They cut it to 9 in the final 3 minutes to cover. But it might just be on principle. I can't back Georgetown. Can you?
No, although they've I'll tell you what, it's a hero call because they've covered 3 of their last 4, even though they've lost 19 straight, 20 straight.
I'm proud of them.
Nathan Sterner says a slether is a little bit off the back. There you go. So it's like back bacon, kind of. What do you call this is the opposite side of the belly of the bacon cut. Okay, there you go. I'm guessing I'd be a fan. I like bacon. I'm a big bacon guy. Maryland to cover tonight, Scott.
I'm going to go with Maryland here because even though the Terrapins aren't exactly a good basketball team, they've been okay lately. They've won 3 of 4. They beat Ohio State over the weekend by 15. Ohio State's fallen apart, but still, you beat a ranked team at home by 15. I'm going to be impressed. Minnesota's been better at home, still atrocious on the road, but it seems like Maryland is a team that we know wasn't going to be very good this year, but they were drastically just underachieving the entire season. They're starting to find some consistency, mostly from Fats Russell at the point guard spot. I can't take Minnesota on the road. I think it's Maryland or pass. You?
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. This is a Maryland team that a Minnesota team that just doesn't play well on the road. They've their highlight was kind of keep it within 6 against Wisconsin, but no, Maryland or pass for me. Bacon, jalapeno pepper jelly, tomato aspic on it. Man, there's somebody that can cook. Preston Burke, yeah, dude, we can hang. That's some shit right there. Fordham as a dog looks way too easy. How you feeling about Fordham tonight? I looked.
I'm not taking UMass. I mean, I feel like it's a spot where it's a back-to-back home and home. So you're expecting UMass to try to avenge the previous loss, but the athletic director announced they're firing the coach at the end of the year. So do you think they try to send the coach out with a win in his final home game? Or do you think it's a message to the players saying whoever's giving you the pregame speech isn't going to be here anyway, so why should you listen to him?
I don't think that's the message they're sending.
I don't think it is either, but I'm bringing it up because anytime you have a guy who's coaching you, but you know he's not going to be coaching you in 3 weeks, I do wonder if they're just going to roll over and die as a team.
We'll see. I mean, that's the team that doesn't play much defense anyway. I've got that as a play of the day. I've got the over there.
Well, they're bad.
So
I mean, there's no way around it. They're just a bad team, but I still have to wonder with the guy giving you the speech and you know that he's basically a dead man walking, are you going to be really motivated for that game? I don't really know. I think Fordham's the much better team.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, UMass beat them the other night, right?
Wait, what happened?
Didn't UMass beat them the other night?
No, Fordham killed them. Fordham won
right.
by double digits.
That's right. I lost all interest because it didn't go under. Oh, that's right. It was 83-76 or something like that.
Yeah. I like the over anyway, just because if the previous matchup had 150 and change and the total's in the 140s, I'm going to like the over. Yeah. But I can't really back UMass in this spot, even though they're at home. They really shouldn't be laying any points to a 500 team, and Fordham for once is actually a 500 team. Good for them. Might hang a banner for going 500, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, very good. Super Slice says, I won a few bucks. My Jets won. Shifley wasn't murdered. It was a good night. Today was a good day.
Jets killed me last night because I had the Canadians plus 1.5. Wild game, by the way. Winnipeg was up 4-0 in the first 9 minutes. Then Montreal scored 4 straight goals. And then Winnipeg ended the game scoring 4 straight goals. So it was a 4-0 run into a 4-0 run into a 4-0 run. And Winnipeg won 8-4.
You want to step in front of the underdog killer, George Mason?
The underdog killer from when? 15, 20 years ago?
The favorite killer, 6-1 as a dog.
See, I know that George Mason, of course, has that historic run, just in general. Yep. Do you think, from like early 2000s, do you think that George Mason is still like fresh in people's head for like PTSD purposes as being a Cinderella story, even though they haven't done anything in about 15 years?
Yeah, I do think that.
I don't think George Mason's very good this year. I mean, they've had some spots. I believe they covered against VCU on the road relatively recently. But Davidson is just such a good team. They're 12-1 at home. They're 24-4 straight up. I got to go with Davidson here. I just think that team is too talented. The question is, can George Mason get enough stops to really contain Davidson and their elite 3-point shooting? I don't see it. I'm going to go with Davidson here.
All right, very good. Yeah, this is a pretty good Davidson team that shoots pretty well, like you said, from beyond the arc, and they guard the arc very well. So we'll see what happens. These teams did not play this year.
It's kind of weird.
It is.
I figured they would have played once.
I thought everybody in the conference, most times they play at least one game. But problem with Davidson, they don't go get it. They not a good rebounding team. I think George Mason will own them on the boards.
Okay.
Oh, I know it's hard to fade this Davidson team. What's number 6? 7.5. Yeah, it can be George Mason. Give me that.
By the way, John Doe, we're not ignoring you. We're just going in some order here.
What do you like?
I saw you asking about the Clemson under.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Clemson taking on Georgia Tech. I can't take an over with Georgia Tech. I mean, this team offensively is not very good, and Clemson, we know, really likes to slow the pace. So if you're looking at a pace perspective or looking at the tempo of the game, Clemson's probably going to dominate and force into the half court. And Georgia Tech isn't exactly a team that likes to speed it up either. So by pace alone, mixed with Clemson's good defense, I got to assume it's going to be a lower scoring game. It's not the exact same situation as the Dayton-Richmond game yesterday, which we both got right. We thought it'd go under. It landed in the hundreds, and I believe the total was 130. I see a similar story tonight, where you're going to be looking at both teams draining 20-plus seconds off the shot clock every time. I'm not going to take an over, so I feel like this game should land in the 120s. You?
Yeah, this is a Clemson team that's a really good shooting team. Very, very good from beyond the arc, especially at home.
But they're very, very methodical.
Yeah, they are. And Georgia Tech, not bad on the defensive side, especially against the three. Yeah, I see a grind there. I'm kind of with you. I think Clemson will take care of business.
I think they'll win handily, but even if Clemson gets to 70, which is, I'd say, a pretty good offensive performance for a Clemson team.
Yeah.
Like Georgia Tech, are we sure they're even going to get to 63 in this game? Like, I'm really not.
No, I'm not sure of that at all.
So I'm going to go with the under.
Arkansas LSU. This is one of the more intriguing games. I see.
But I see questions about when Allie's coming on the show tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't promo anything. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, do all that stuff. And very, very, very important stuff today. If you don't like and subscribe, Korean baseball is also going to be canceled. So I'm fucking. Don't even get me started. We'll rant about that tomorrow with Allie because I know she's a big baseball fan and college basketball. So we'll save our bitching about Major League Baseball until tomorrow. But I'm just
Alexa. What are the
shamed.
Little League World Series odds?
Fucking shamed.
Got nothing for sports. It's a damn for baseball at least. Damn shame.
So,
see the photos of Manfred playing golf, by the way, right after the season was announced.
Don't even smiling on the podium as he announced it. Yeah, not a fan.
What a commissioner.
Not a fan, friends. So LSU, known for their defense. Here's the thing about LSU. They were down their 3 top scorers for a long time. They've got everybody back. So it's a little bit when you cap and you say, well, LSU did this, LSU did that. Yeah, but they weren't at full strength. They were at full strength last time against Mizzou, and again, not a good test. But they absolutely blasted them by 20 and could have called their number there. Arkansas obviously playing very good basketball right now. The nice win over Kentucky. They've won a shit ton, 13 of 14 basically, with their only loss coming in Alabama. This is a tough one for me, buddy. It really is. You want to get in front of that LSU defense? How do you feel?
I kind of do, just because Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena is a world beater. I mean, they're 16-1 at home, straight up. They're 10-6. They're 10-6-1 ATS. The last 10 games in general, they're 9-0-1. So they have not failed. They have not failed to cover a point spread in the last 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's good enough for me. LSU's 3-7 on the road. They're a team that, even though they were missing some guys, offensively they really struggle at times. I actually like the under. I think this total's too high, but I like Arkansas here. It's very tough to step in front of a team that has such a profound home court advantage. I'm going to go with the Razorbacks.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm on a little bit of a dog hunt here today, bud. This is a Arkansas team that just beat that depleted LSU squad by 7, when LSU was actually chalk there. So they've seen them. I think being back to full strength is going to make a difference. I think they keep it close. Give me a little bit of action there on that one. Scott made my Alexa talk a minute ago. I've got an Alexa. I don't have it programmed or anything, and I've also got it on my TV. Occasionally it works. I'll use it, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. It's just like the voice stuff. I don't know. I don't think they've quite got it right yet, but I'm glad they don't have like bad commands for Alexa. Alexa, start global thermonuclear war. What? Mm-hmm. Who said that? Kind of a bad joke these days, I guess. Sorry, guys. Oh, God. Just fucking baseball. Okay. And Z.R. Carter pointing out that Georgia Tech did beat Clemson at home earlier this season. So, yeah.
I'm looking at the under. I just see a lower scoring game there.
Yeah, agreed. Nathan, I'm with you. I'm with you with LSU catching those points. Ask Alexa dick jokes. Oh, Carrot. God bless you. She didn't understand that one. Thank God. What else you like tonight, buddy? Anything?
Well, the only action I have right now for my play today is at halftime. I have Asheville minus the 9.5. It closed at 11, I believe. They're up 6 at the half, which is pushing the closing first half spread, so I guess I can't be too mad.
Yep.
But they gave up 36 points in the first half to Southern, which is kind of a pain in the ass. I expected them to get to 80, so I need their defense to pick up. But for the rest of the card, I'm a little bit confused why St. Joe's is favored against LaSalle. Now, LaSalle's an awful team, don't get me wrong, but it's not like St. Joe's is any better. And LaSalle did just beat Dayton in its last game. Do you know why St. Joe's is favored? Because I really can't figure that out.
It does seem like a weird number there, just a little bit. I mean, these are two teams that, like you said, they're not good. St. Joe 10-17 on the season, LaSalle 8-18. I'm trying to see what LaSalle beat the shit out of them when they played back in January. No,
I'm just looking at a spot where St. Joe's might be 6-3 and 1 ATS on the road, but that's usually because they're getting double-digit points. They're 1-9 straight up on the highway. Now they're favored. I'm not going to pick the 1-9 team on the road straight up to win outright against a team that just beat Dayton at home.
Yep.
So,
agreed. Give me a small lean with the home team there. David said, "I love when billionaires fight with millionaires. Both sides are a joke." Well, yeah, sort of. That's
the millionaires are a question mark because they're kind of fighting for the minor league guys and people not making that much money.
Yeah, and the guys are getting screwed by the extra year of service and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I know that the value of baseball franchises has skyrocketed, and if you look at baseball salaries comparatively speaking to revenue, they've gone down. So, I mean, I get it. I get it's easy to be pissed at the owners and the players, but remember the owners locked him out 43 days ago and didn't negotiate for like 35 of those days, basically.
Well, I had that. I thought they would have a deal after a little bit of postponement just because I figured they would sit in a room at the last minute and try to negotiate everything at once.
Agreed.
All of that was true. The issue was I thought they might have actually reached a deal in time. But when you are locked out for 40-something days and you procrastinate until the, final week before or the final, 3 days before, I think that you can really determine who's at fault just by how late one party was or both parties were to arriving at the negotiating table.
Yep.
That's the main issue I have. The actual logistical debates, that's not surprising. That's literally what a lockout is. You just argue about every issue until you compromise on everything. But the fact that it took so long to actually reach the negotiating table, I think is an extreme red flag and a slap to the face for all the fans.
Agreed. Totally agreed. All right, let's find out what happened yesterday, bud. A lot of action going on. So it's Wednesday. It's the Hump Day edition. Let's do it. Let's find out who took it in the shorts, who took it to the bank, who were the winners, who's the whiners, And who's just going to pick up their old flip phone, dial 911, and call the cops? All right, very good. Yeah, quick reminder that we are going to have Allie Burns on the show tomorrow. Very fun. We had a blast with her on the Super Bowl show, and then hopefully we'll have Lenny on as well. So yeah, cool duo there are they at Picks and Parlays. So let's start in the NCAA, as we often do, looking at a game that I had, South Carolina minus 6.5. This was a premium, by the way. Led by 7 points with less than 2 seconds left. By the way, this is a game they pissed away. I lost both premiums yesterday and had the number covered in the last 10 minutes. Both teams stepped on their dick coming down the stretch. Couldn't hold the lead. I'm not happy. Anyway, like I said, led by 7, less than 2 seconds left. Mizzou, literally the fourth worst three-point shooting team in the nation, hits the fucking three-pointer. South Carolina wins by 4. Congratulations. Call the cops.
And looking at the second one in college basketball as well, if you had Bucknell and Lafayette under 145.5 in the Patriot League tournament, Lafayette led by 2 with 4 seconds left. The game was sitting at 140. You just need one stop. And instead, Bucknell hit a game-tying layup. We're going to overtime, and the game landed 163 after overtime.
Yep, not good. And finally, in the NBA, Mavericks, Lakers over 219.5. You just needed 93 points in the second half. That caps out to 186 for a full game. That should be easy to do. How about 45 points in the third quarter? And you're like, well, shit, we're still okay.
49 though, 49 in the fourth quarter.
Right, we need 48 to get to 93, but yeah. So they put up they don't do that. Spoiler alert, they put up 41 in the fourth quarter. Game landed 213. Jesus Christ.
Game just absolutely died.
Yep, just like your underbet or just like your overbets there. Yep. All right. So, there was some good news out there, and hopefully this is the right side that you were on. Maybe you just spent the night counting your money because you were sitting where you were sitting in the rocking chair.
So starting off with the NHL, if you had the Oilers and the Flyers under 6.5, it's easy when one team doesn't score and you only had one goal in each period. Edmonton won 3-0.
And moving to the Pac-12, you had Arizona minus 4.5 against USC. USC showed their true colors last night. Arizona led by 24 at halftime. Played with their food a little bit in the second half. Ended up winning by 20. Congratulations, Wildcats.
Depends on what the matchup is for the first round of the tournament. But I said yesterday I'm not a fan of this USC team. I think they're a pretty strong candidate to lose in the first round. What do you think?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Candid free throws late in games. I've seen this movie before.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the last one, if you had Michigan minus 4.5 against Michigan State, they led by 16 at half, and they won by 17. Michigan State, they might have beaten Purdue, but they still suck.
Yep.
And Michigan torched them.
Yep, I think you and I, everything we said like unofficially on the air, I think came true. But like official picks, no.
I said my favorite play was going to be Duke.
Yeah.
And they won by 30. So, we're going to do a conference tournament game just because of March, but I feel like all the non-conference tournament games, we pretty much won.
Yep, exactly right. All right, there was a performance last night that I think we kind of need to talk about, and we haven't done one of these in a while, so let's do one here. Let's fit it in. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. So last night, we talked about this Ohio State team. They were 16-point favorites against Nebraska. We didn't really like that game. We thought that might have been a few too many points, but it's hard to get behind Nebraska, especially on the road. Well, Nebraska, they showed up last night. How about those Huskers? They beat the Buckeyes by 8 points. And you think, wow, I didn't think Nebraska did very well against good teams. Yeah, they don't. They were 0-24 straight up in their last 24 against ranked opponents. Congratulations, Buckeyes. You, my friends, look like shit last night.
And if you want to talk about Fred Hoiberg as the coach of Nebraska, his record against ranked teams before last night was 0-23 straight up. And they ended up not only beating Ohio State, they really kind of coasted. They led it to half. They won the full game. It seemed like Ohio State was just trailing the entire night.
Yep, it really did. Just absolutely.
Speaking of teams, by the way, to fade in the first round of the tournament, can I present to you the team that lost to Oral Roberts last year? Ohio State in the first round.
Yep, absolutely. Should have had 2 units on Duke straight yesterday. Sure. What about Toledo? Absolutely smoked that Buffalo team, didn't they?
We liked the over. Yep. That got there easily.
Yes, it did.
But
what happened to Oakland yesterday? What a great fucking question that is. I asked it most of last night as I sat here talking to myself at my desk. We touched on it briefly at the top of the show. They shoot 29% from beyond the arc. IUPUI shoots 60%. They've got 5 guys. 2 of them pick up 4 fouls. Neither one of them can't get rid of them. Can't just fucking lean on those guys. How could you do that, Scott? How could you not just take it at those motherfuckers every time they're
I feel like the rule is if somebody's in foul trouble and you have actually no bench players, keep going at the guy in foul trouble. That's just a hot take. But yeah, Super Sly Hoiberg was the guy who coached the Bulls. Also coached Iowa State a while back. But in Nebraska, he's been a mess. Nebraska's been a mess for years. But not last night. They pieced it together for a full 40 minutes.
Yeah, very good. Of course, I'm old enough to remember Fred Hoiberg as a player, and he was roundly hated when he played at the Iowa State guy, right? Yeah. So, yeah, not good. Not good. Good 3-point shooter, though. Shit made my head explode. Oh, Oakland? Yeah, dude. And then they finally got their shit together.
What were they up, like 18 with like 5 to go, 6 to go?
They're at least 16, and they might have taken it to 18 at one point. But yeah, I'm like, okay, here we go.
IUPUI just kept shooting and they kept scoring.
Yeah, every time they'd start to put their foot on the gas, IUPUI would come down and be left open for a 3-pointer and hit it. They probably hit more 3-pointers last night than they hit the whole fucking season.
Probably.
All right, so enough about that. Conference tournaments tonight. What do we got? I go to my big board here, and we've got we got the Big South and the Ohio Valley firing up tonight, Scott. And then tomorrow it's going to be nuts because we got the MVC Sun Belt and the West Coast Conference starting up, and then we've got second round of the A-Sun and the Horizon as well as the Patriot tomorrow. So here
I got a question about a non-tournament game, and I kind of want your thoughts on it.
Okay.
So Lamar is taking on Texas Rio Grande Valley. And Lamar is currently getting 1.5 points. They're 2-26.
Yep.
I know that, Texas Rio Grande Valley is only 7-21.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you not lay 1.5 against a team that's 2-26 this season?
Lamar
Am I missing something?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, they're thinking the terrible Rio Grande defense is going to make up for the terrible Lamar offense.
I get it. Like, if you bet Lamar, good for you. But on principle, I cannot back a team that is 2-26 that is only getting 1.5 points. I feel like that. I don't want to say it's a blind Rio Grande Valley play, but it kind of feels that way because Lamar, home, road, Mars, Jupiter, doesn't matter. They're losing. I don't know if it matters.
Rio Grande Valley beat them by 24 a month ago.
Like, am I missing something there? Like, I don't know.
I don't see it. I don't see it, bud. Lamar's covered just once in the month of February.
Entire month they've covered one time.
Yep. Of course.
I don't care how bad Rio Grande is on the road.
Yep.
Lamar has 2 wins the entire season. That doesn't really mean anything to me.
Yep. They got to Lamar got to 79 against Rio Grande.
Great. What'd they give up?
Yeah, they gave up 93. So I said they lost by 24. Cool. They lost by 14. Sorry, I overstated. But yeah. What do you think the spread's going to be for Fort Wayne and Illinois Chicago?
4.5. Is that tonight or is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. I mean, it even said Friday.
Is there lines up on that game actually?
No, he's just taking a guess. I
was gonna say I feel like there should be lines up, right? Because I mean the matchup's not gonna change. It's not like they're playing a game or whatever. You know, I feel like you should have a line. But whose side PFW playing again?
I just said it.
I know. Sorry, I'm just searching it up. They're playing Illinois Chicago.
Illinois Chicago, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the spread is, so I can't really give you an.
He wants to know what you think the spread's going to be.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think in my.
What do you think the spread's going to be? I don't know what the spread is, so I can't answer.
I know. It's 7.5.
Okay, I said 4.5.
Give or take. I mean, it's not a neutral, so IPFW is 13-2 straight up at home, 9-4 ATS, but Illinois Chicago isn't a very good team, but on the road against the number, they're 9-6. So I'm gonna say 7.5.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I said 4.5.
Okay. I think 4.5 is too low for a team that's that dominant at home.
Purdue barely cracked 50% from the foul line. The old donkey broke it off. Oh my God, this Purdue team is so fucking frustrating. I know you put it all at the feet of Matt Painter. I don't know about that. I think
I put a lot of it at Matt Painter's feet just because some of the plays out of timeouts I find questionable, the decision making. I feel like the team half the time just has some form of a game plan and they just never deviate. It's just this is either going to work or we're going to die trying. And it seems like they died trying more often than they should. Have you noticed that?
Oh,
I
yeah.
really don't see many in-game adjustments by Painter.
No, and you know, you have a dominant inside game and a dominant outside game. I don't understand. I don't understand how this team ever loses a fucking game. I really don't.
I really don't know, because you look at the Big Ten, and even though I root for Wisconsin, Purdue is clearly the most talented team in the conference. Like, I don't think it's close in terms of talent.
Summer Sweat says fire Painter. Yeah, that's a tough thing to do when he recruits well.
Yeah,
but can't coach. When you put together a team like that, and you're like, well, you're gonna fire that guy, but then it's hard because they're gonna make the tournament. They're gonna end up with the second or third place in the Big Ten.
I still don't understand how high school players keep an eye on Purdue. They see Painter coach every year, and they still commit to Purdue. I don't know. If I was like a 5-star, if I was Jaden Ivey, why the hell would I want to go play for Matt Painter?
Yeah. Kenny asked a good question. It's one that we get every once in a while. We try to address that about once a week as the odds change and things happen. If you had to make a future bet right now on teams winning it all, which we both have, by the way, who do you like and who do you avoid? Well, I'll answer the second part first. I think both of us are pretty much shell-shocked about Gonzaga. So I don't think, at least for me, and I don't want to quite speak for you, but I have no desire to bet the favorite there at plus 400 in Gonzaga. We've seen this movie before. We have seen this movie before, and Gonzaga appears to be even not quite as strong this year as they have been in years past. You?
I can't take Gonzaga at plus 350, especially after losing to St. Mary's. It's the same story every year. They will look pretty good early in the season out of conference. They'll go into conference play. They'll murder everybody by 60.
Have one close call.
And then they'll either have one slip up or they will roll the table and then have a no-show in a tournament game. And it's been the case pretty much every year Few's been there. They've had some really, really good teams. Now, they did make it to the title game last year. Truth is that Gonzaga team, in my opinion, and that Baylor team were two of the best college basketball teams I've seen in probably a decade.
Yeah, I think
in terms of talent,
I think we saw the two best teams play, and it's a shame we had the game because they were scheduled to play earlier in the season, and it was canceled because of COVID. So,
I'm saying, what do you think, though? Do you agree that Gonzaga and Baylor last year were two of shorthand the best teams I've seen in college in 10 years?
Yeah, I think that you can certainly make that case. No question about it. Gonzaga or Baylor, not nearly as strong. No, not nearly as strong.
Baylor, though, I mean, I wrote them off a little bit during with the injuries, and they're still missing some guys, but they have a certain grit to them, which I wish Gonzaga had. And I feel like that's why Baylor was able to win last year. It just seems like Gonzaga expects to roll over everyone. And as soon as they get punched in the mouth, they really don't handle adversity that well. And that's been the case for years. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to argue with. It really is.
I'm not taking Gonzaga at plus 350. Talent-wise, I get it. They're probably the most talented team in the country. But I think they're going to lose again in the Final Four. I think they'll lose at some point in the tournament. If they were 5-1 or 6-1.
Before you hang on, let me ask you this. Would you rather have Holmgren and Timmy or Edie and Williams?
I'd rather have Holmgren and Timmy.
Would you really?
Yeah. Edie is a guy who really does not have much talent. He's a very tall human being. Truth is, the referees also hate Edie. He can just put his hands up and he'll get 3 fouls called on him in about 3 minutes. Seems like the referees just hate Edie because he gets into foul trouble all the time.
Yep.
But I do think that you're looking at a spot where Holmgren's supposed to be top 3 in the draft. Timmy is one of the favorites to win Player of the Year. He's not going to win it, but he's been in the running in years past. I go with those two, but if you're asking me right now, would I rather have Timmy, Holmgren, and Strawford, or Kispert, Timmy, and Suggs?
Nope, wasn't the question.
My point is that's why I think Gonzaga's team last year was better, because I'd rather have Suggs in that backcourt. Yeah. I'm not a Nemhard guy.
Okay.
Are you a Nemhard guy? Because I'm not.
He looked a lot better last year when he had more help, didn't he?
I don't think he really does much besides game manage. And when you're driving a Corvette, I don't want a guy that's going to fully game manage.
Nathan Stern wants to know if put a big second half play on Duke, or first half play on Duke. It's Duke play.
Well, they played yesterday, so.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, I was going to finish my point, though. So
right,
I'm not into Gonzaga.
All right, yeah.
Plus 350. I'm writing off Purdue at 9-1.
Okay.
I don't care how talented you are. If you lose every close game you're in, I'm not going to pick you to win in the tournament. Arizona and Kentucky are the intriguing favorites that I like.
Yep, me too.
I feel like those two teams are, for the most part, consistent, and they just have a lot of firepower. Arizona's shot selection's not great, but they have a lot of talent. They can overcome it, and they really check every box. Same thing with Kentucky. As for long shots, I mentioned Texas Tech at 25-1. Do I feel great about that? Not really, but I do think that because of their unique style of play and their elite defense, at least they have a recipe to beat anybody on any given night, which I do think pays some dividends. I'm not taking Wisconsin at 50-1. Illinois, I'm not an Underwood guy either. I really don't like many long shots here. Do you? I mean, Baylor at 14-1 maybe, but with the injuries, I'm going to have to pass.
I've got Nova at 18-1.
Okay, I see 25-1 on Nova.
Okay.
I think they're a fundamentally sound team, obviously, with Jay Wright. I still question the lack of athleticism, and I think that they can get exposed against some quality opposition. We saw them against Baylor earlier this year. They scored like 40 points.
We'll see what happens tonight. I like this Hogs team as well. I've got them at 33. You might have a better number than that.
I see 55-1.
55 on Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody who checked in wanted to know what was wrong with us with our Oakland play yesterday. Well, for starters, I'm not gonna put this around Scott's neck. That was my play of the day. I know you said you probably leaned that way as well, but that was not your official play by any stretch. That was my official play. So I'll take all the blame on that. And you know what? I'm going to fade the nation's worst team with half of their roster gone, starting and having only 5 people available to play. I'm going to make that bet every day. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to apologize for IUPUI shooting 60% from the floor and for Oakland shooting 29%. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to make it. If it was available today, I'd fucking play it again. Scott?
I mean, you're fading IUPUI. That's been a pretty solid move all season long.
55-1 seems like a decent price. Agreed on Arkansas. IUPUI.
I think it is, but at the end of the day, Arkansas is so good at home and so mediocre on the road to below average. I mean, the same can be said about Texas Tech.
Right.
They went undefeated at home this season. I don't know how much I should factor in home road splits when you're going into a neutral for about a month straight. I feel like that's the tricky question that you always have to ask, and it varies on the team.
I've got Providence at 75-1. Is there any value there to fade Ken Palm and the net rankings?
They're not going to win the title. I'm rooting for Providence. I think they're a lot of fun. I liked them yesterday getting points against Villanova, and they almost won the game. it goes back to the same point that I made about Wisconsin. And I don't think they're talented enough. Now, are they a great team? Yes. Are they fundamentally sound? Yes. Is the chemistry there? Yes. But once again, it goes back to a point, like I said about Villanova. There are certain teams that are just significantly more athletic than them, and they're probably going to get exposed. I think they're a Sweet 16 team. I think with a good side of the bracket, they could be an Elite 8 team. But Providence, I just don't think has enough firepower to be a Final Four team. You?
Well, yeah, no, I'm the same way. You're looking at long shots now, so it's it's hard to make a case that this team's actually going to run through it. The only question you've got there is, can they get hot? Somebody asking about the score. Asheville's up by 4.
They're just playing with their food. Well, the truth is, Southern just can't miss a shot.
No,
they're shooting like 50-something%.
Yeah, they shot poorly early, and that was my call. I've got the under here as a premium, so that's not going well, obviously. But they shot poorly to start. It's the big arena theory is what I went with, because Southern plays an arena. I played in a high school that was bigger, that had a bigger arena. It literally seats 887 people. So,
and there's still 15 minutes left. I'm not fully worried. Plus, in these tournaments, you're fouling down 12 with 3 minutes to go anyway. So we got a long way to go. But Asheville offensively is doing their job, just not getting many stops.
Yep, absolutely true. Amazing that Charlotte Southern sucks. Yeah, no kidding. What does Houston or Duke play for the futures? Yeah, Duke was certainly a consideration. They're the 5th betting favorite. I've got them at 9-1. You've probably got them a little better than that.
I see 12-1.
And Houston,
I see 40.
I would love to see this Houston team do it. Again, you look at them on paper, and they've certainly got the talent, but then they shit the bed against fucking SMU or who they lose to the other night. Just ridiculous.
They ended up dominating last night. They clinched the regular season title, so they're still very good. But I had Houston in my Final Four last year. I really don't know how to grade it, because on one hand, they got there. On the other hand, they really didn't play anybody. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, they really should have lost to Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Rutgers just handed the game over when Houston was dead in the water. So I really don't know if I can build off of last year's run or not, because of how easy Houston's schedule was in the tournament.
Right.
They really didn't face anybody.
They're kind of a junior version of Gonzaga. Playing a pretty bad conference, and usually roll through conference play really good at home, and then kind of shit the bed.
I don't think it's a matter of the conference being terrible. I just meant people are going to say automatically, well, Houston made the Final Four last year.
It was a great team in that conference. I mean, Memphis is playing good ball, and that's somebody else I would look at, by the way.
Well, Memphis is in the last 4 in right now, so they're probably going to go dancing. We'll see.
Well, again, that's a team. That's a team that's hurt, man. You want to play Memphis? You can get an outrageous price on Memphis, and that's just the kind of team that fucking gets hot and can take you to the Final Four. And I got them at 150. You probably got a better number than that. Thing about that, you take a team like that, if they get to the second weekend, you can hedge the shit out of it and make money. You don't have to get them to the Final Four to make money on hedging. You can hedge them going into the Sweet 16.
I see 140-1 on Memphis here, but
okay.
If you want to go for a long shot, a serious long shot that has a 0% chance of winning, but like maybe for the value, Michigan at 140-1, if you think they get in, just solely because of the fact that, similarly to Memphis, they were preseason top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that they can realize some of that potential, they might be undervalued. And if you remember, UCLA was a last 4 in team, and they made it to the Final Four.
Yeah, they barely beat Michigan State in that fucking play-in game.
I'm saying there could be a path there for an 140-1 shot on a preseason top 10 team.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
If you want to go serious long shot, $10 to win 14 hundo, I don't mind it.
Yep. Somebody wanted to know how our NASCAR picks did. We'll go about it in more depth on the show on Friday. But
I did well.
Well, you did the worst. But
no. What I'm saying is your scoring system's a bit messed up, because
in dollars you did the worst too. You lost. You lost 160.
According to my actual plays, I made a unit and a quarter.
Well, you're fucking making in-race plays and shit that we're not doing on the show. I
wasn't making in-race plays solely based on what I bet. I made 1.25 units. So we got to talk about the breakdown in money, because the calculations are off. Because you throw in top 10 plays and you throw in some other stuff
right that
I'm clearly not betting. So I go through all my plays. I made 1.25 units in NASCAR last week.
Well, no, you didn't, but that's all right.
I did. My account tells me that I made 1.25 units.
All right. Well, anyway, as far as our point standings, Chris had 89, I had 88, and you had 75. So
cool.
Again, we'll talk about that as we go forward. We had Logano, and we had two of our long shots come in the top 10. I did, and Chris did, with Almarella and Jones.
So there's my original one was Keselowski, but he didn't even make it into the top 10 either. So
he did not. He did not. Drop $1 on UConn. Yeah, Tebow. By the way, Thomas Bowe said the people that pick some parlays is very cool. I agree. Anybody that I've ever worked with has been cool. So, and I'm looking forward to having them on the show. So we'll have Allie in there tomorrow. So it's that time of day, Scott. Let's do it here, man. It's 83 degrees outside. I'm gonna go out and do something. What about you? Is it nice up there?
72 and windy.
You gonna go out to the park, or what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Okay. Rochelle's cooking the books. Exactly.
I'm not. I have all my plays written out.
So here's all the plays I like.
All of the plays.
Here's all the plays I like. I'm not betting them. Here's some shit that I'm going to bet, and I'm going to count that. But the shit I told you to bet, fuck that. I'm not playing it.
You added top 10 qualifying stuff, which I would never bet. And two, you've basically forced me to take Bubba Wallace because apparently Keselowski didn't qualify as a long shot. Yet I included Keselowski and Bubba Wallace in my recap.
And neither one of them hit. So shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
I'm saying I lost an extra whatever because you forced me to take a racer I didn't want to take.
God.
That was my point.
All right. All right, buddy. It is time. We've had it. Would we have a 2-game losing streak now?
Yeah, I think that's our first. I actually think that's our first 2-game losing streak in like a month and a half.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
We haven't lost multiple games in a long time.
It's bullshit, man. It is bullshit. It is time to get off the schneid. Let's do it, man. Let's I gotta go. I got new overalls today. I'm gonna put them on, and of course, adjust my straw hat. Climb aboard your John Deere's, everybody. Get your Lucky Rabbit's Foot keychain out. Put them in there. Turn the key, and fire that bad boy up because it's time to cue the cash cow. It's time to bet the farm. All right, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, Scott. They just couldn't get any stops and keep that game under. It was ridiculous. So what do you got cooked up for today?
So we're going to go with the player prop. It's going to be on Cleveland Cavaliers center Jared Allen. We're going to take over 11.5 rebounds at around minus 135 on BetMGM.
By the way, minus 135, that's pretty much our ceiling as far. We had a discussion about whether we wanted to lay more than 130 or not. We almost never, ever will. It's not...
I think 140 is our ceiling, technically.
Yeah, probably. But it's a play that we've really got to like, and that one qualifies. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. He's played against Charlotte 3 times this season. He's averaging 14 rebounds per game in those meetings. He's recorded at least 16 rebounds in each of the last 2 meetings. Plus, we know that Cleveland loves to play him because he's really good. He was an all-star. And he's played at least 31 minutes in 9 of the last 10 games. And Charlotte, with Mason Plumlee and company... not a very good rebounding team. The Hornets ranked tied for 24th in rebounding rate. But when you're averaging 14 rebounds per game against this opponent in 3 meetings and your number's 11.5, I got to take the over.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's another Scott Reichel did the parlay show or the prop show today. So he's got an NBA prop. I like that one as well. We've had pretty good luck with these, my friend. It's usually LeBron over.
Well, that's why I was one of the runner-ups for yesterday's show, the LeBron rebounds, but we won conference tournament.
Yep, and that was kind of on me. It was kind of the start of the conference tournaments. I wanted to throw out a conference play, so we had a lot of other plays that we liked that actually fucking won. So I'll take the blame for that one. It was my day and it was my conference pick. So, but now it's back to you, and we're back on the player prop. So let's go ahead and get that win tonight. And that's going to do it for the farm. That's going to do it for the show, everybody. Don't forget to stop by, check out our partners over there at BetMGM. Check the show description for all their great offers. $1,000 free bet, plus the bet $10 get $200 if anybody makes a 3-pointer. Very cool offers if you have BetMGM. Please do that. And one more time, Allie Burns will be on the show tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. But we do this each and every day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, as Scott and I do our very best to guide you in your journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.